coming straight out of Brownsville. Bobby Simmons, coming straight out of Brownsville. What's up, everybody? How you doing? This is Bobby Simmons. Welcome to the Bobby Simmons Show. And I got a special treat for y'all, because in this show tonight, or this evening, or this morning, whatever you catching us, is a special show for me because I got one of my great friends in the building with me. I'm talking about the one and only devastating Tito from the legendary group, The Fearless Force, in the building. So I don't want y'all to move nowhere. Sit tight, because we're about to have a nice little ride. And speaking of ride, why don't y'all sit tight right there, because we're going to play a classic video from Tito and his group, The Fearless Force. This is called Problems of the World Today. Don't move.
Oh, geez, problems again. I got a headache. I'm living just to die without any feeling, so I wait here for my maker till it's time to go. Ask someone about the time is slipping. Can you spare a dime for asking where will I earn it? I just don't know. I need someone to talk to try to ease some pressure off my mind, cause times are rough nowadays. Got a high school diploma and I'm very ambitious, so why, oh why do I live this way? These things called computers does the thinking for a man, leaving one man on the buttons while unemployed I can. Should have trained with computers in some college course, so when I play the game of life, just maybe I'd win with problems, education, unemployment, and got too many problems of the world today. Daddy, we had from the weekend that just passed. Mommy's brother came to visit while you were away. I know why you look puzzled. I was shocked myself. I didn't know I had an uncle until Friday. I was really glad I met him, but places mommy bet him, brought them both the ugly faces, so they went in the back. Thought it was kind of crazy, but I know as a fact that there's no way in the world I kiss my sister like that. What do you mean she has no brother? I saw him myself, and we can go check with mother just to see what she'll say. Thought you would be glad to know I had an uncle. Didn't know you'll come home and be my mommy that way. Problem, tree, problem, child deceiving, problem, got too many problems of the world today. The milk, so she went to the store, leaving her son and her new love in the house that day. Never crossed her mind that something could go wrong. Thinking the man in 4-year-old would only joke and play. When she returned home, tears fled from her eyes as she witnessed the son laid out on the floor. The man stood above her with a black leather strap, and as she grabbed the butcher knife, she said, "Don't hit him anymore." The neighbors called the cops, and the boy survived. But that experience will always leave his mind in gloom. And if you want to leave him, not to do such a thing, he lives rent-free, locked in his rubber room. For mental problem, child abusing, problem, he got so many, he got to solve the problems of the world. I want to be somebody, can you understand that? You see, I'm living two lives, I go to work and school. My friends say I'm crazy to try so hard instead of being with my girl. I must be some fool. If I quit my school, there goes an education which leaves me no pull in my future world. And if I walk from a job, cannot afford a Jeep for myself or her, I may lose my girl. After working there and reading the things there, oh, you see, I need to take up is just to make love. Just about to fall flat on my face, and for strength I pray to the man above. Problem, relationship, problem, strenuous, problem, got too many problems of the world today.
Hey yo, what's up, fellas, man?
No, yo, what's up, Tito?
Yo, man, I just got laid off last week.
What?
And if you think it's bad for him, my girl just left me for what could have been my homeboy. You know how that goes, D. You know how that goes.
Yo, homeboy, that's just a few of the problems of the world today. Word. Next door is the big house owned by the Joneses, to a little brown shack that's owned by me. I get so mad every time that I see him, so I guess deep down that's called envy. I walk out every morning before I drive in my car. The old horse and buggy, I should say it is, compared to the new car of Mr. Jones. When my car is 12 years older than his, I'll just live in my house and I'll be alright. And the old Cadillac still gets me around. Wind up the phonograph and listen to a song titled "Don't Let the Joneses Get You Down." Problem, jealousy, problem, envious, problem, got too many problems of the world today. On the park bench, people pointing their fingers, talking about everyone that walks down the street. They pose as they your friends to get into your business, but they start investigating from the time you meet. They tell this one what you said and tell you what they said, and that's the way he say, she say, start, and then comes the fight. For on by the live so and the nosy body just forget their parts. I live quite secluded by keeping to myself. I only tell people what I want. to know. Although I get friendly, I won't get personal because one never knows who's friend or foe. Problems, problems, backstabbing, problems, got too many problems of the world today. On the street corner to earn a fast buck, paranoid of the police because of what I sell. Keep a low profile and hide my product because if I'm caught, then here comes hell. Spending hours getting booked and my bail let out, and I hope my legal aid lawyer don't fail. I mean, as my mouthpiece at my court date because I can get from 1 to 5 in jail. As I start to think about it, I should leave this mess, turn law and get shot because I know that I can. And 9 to 5 looks good, but so does the streets. And man doesn't rule money, but money rules man. Problem, paranoid, problem, tough decision. Problem, you got too many problems of the world. That girl over there had the fair money status, but she always feeling something when you turn your back. She needs someone's attention, most likely is a parent, so for being ignored, she's a kleptomaniac. The things she may steal, she could afford to buy them, but the girl's so sick, she'll grab in a wig of an eye, and I can't understand that. She take anything and all except the kitchen sink. Why can't her parents understand her? At least try to, and with professional help, she'll be alright. That is the turn in the better direction, so maybe she won't pick up everything in sight. Problem, neglected, problem, klepto, problem, got too many problems of the world today.
Did you know home appliance and major system breakdowns cost homeowners an average of $1,700 per year in repairs and replacements?
American Residential Warranty can help cover those costs with home service plans starting at less than $1 a day.
Plan options include coverage for central air, heat, and ductwork,
Interior electrical systems and plumbing,
major kitchen appliances,
water heaters,
washers and dryers,
garage door openers,
ceiling fans, and more.
even pools and spas.
American Residential Warranty replaced my dishwasher with a brand new one, and I only paid a small service fee.
I woke up on a Saturday morning, there was no hot water in the shower. So I called American Residential Warranty. They sent a repairman to fix the problem the same day.
Call now. There's no obligation. But hurry, if you wait until you need a home service repair,
It'll be too late.
Call now to get your home warranty. 1-800-957-2429. That's 1-800-957-2429.
Attention! Are you stuck in student loan debt? If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans and are having trouble making the payments, call now for a special free offer. Student Services wants to give you free information on how to possibly cut your student loan payment in half, or in some cases, have your student loan completely wiped clean. Just imagine your life with no more student loan payments. If you're late or even in default on your student loan payments, call now for a special free offer. The call is free. The information is free, and there's no obligation. Just real relief from the financial burden of student loans. Student Services can help stop tax garnishments and release cosigners, and has helped many people struggling with their student loan payments. Call now to discover the secrets to possibly having your student loans completely written off. Student loan debt relief is one free phone call away. Don't waste another day struggling in student loan debt. Call now for student loan debt relief.
Let me tell you some of the reasons people get into trouble with credit cards. A job loss or salary cut, an unexpected expense, a divorce, a business loss, or even helping a family member or friend in need. At Consolidated Credit, we understand that debt problems are not about overspending. It's about emergencies and unexpected situations. Consolidated Credit has helped over 5 million people, just like you. The options for getting out of debt have never been better. We can reduce your interest rates, cut your monthly payments, and help you get out of debt fast. The time to call Consolidated Credit is now. There are a lot of ways to get into trouble with debt. There's only one trusted way to get out: Consolidated Credit. When debt is the problem, we're the solution.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Call toll-free 1-800-359-9917. That's 1-800-359-9917. Call now.
All right, people, welcome to the show, Bobby Simmons Show. Now, as you can see, in the place to be, sitting right next to me, It's the one and only, the devastator Tito from the Phillies 4 in the building with me. What's up, baby?
Shout out, baby. I appreciate you having me on the show, fam.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this real quick. This is my man right here, man. And you know what's funny? You probably remember, because me and you, we have great memories. Me and Tito, we've known each other for years. And we came across each other plenty of times, but we was always running.
Of course, throughout our travels,
right.
Of course we did.
And Pats.
Yep.
And I got put on that, Tito was doing his thing. I said, well, yo, let me catch up with Tito and surprise him. Because I'm doing my thing with an artist, and I have more artists on his show, Team Fearless radio show. I said, let me give Tito a surprise. But Tito already beat me to the point, man. When I showed up at his spot,
crazy.
Family was already in the building, man. And I have to say, we enjoyed ourselves on your show. Fonda, and I'm telling you exactly what she said.
Okay.
Fonda wants to come back.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
On your show.
For sure.
So please, if you can.
Come on. Of course we're going to get it back. That's not even like, you don't even got to say that. You can say, yo, fam, listen, I want to come up this week. Right. I'm writing you in the script.
No,
you know how we do it.
There it is, man.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And we had ourselves a great time. But one, I'm glad that you're here because Tito got a lot going on. You got a whole lot going on, particularly one, this book here, Gemini. And for those of y'all who don't have this book, definitely we're going to give y'all a little insight in this book in a little bit and need to pick it up because I did take my moment to read it. I'm not going to give people too much insight on the book because I want people to go pick it up, but there's a couple of questions I'm going to ask you about the book. But before we get to that, man, how's it been for you, man? You've been like in transition with a lot of things, man.
Well, you got to think about it. I mean, from the early stages, I'm going to go back to the early. When we first started professionally with the Fearless 4, that was 1981.
Right.
So you're looking at, the It's Magic transition into rocking it, and then from rocking it transitioning into getting signed to that major label,
right?
Which was Elektra, which was a new forum for us, a big landscape in regards to artists.
Right.
And when we came from that, I think I had a good maybe 4-year run after Problems of the World, where we had little projects with Aaron Fuchs and different other little labels and stuff. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna do specifics and name it, but we had, we tried our hand out there. We had Mercury, we had Polydor, when Polydor was still doing their thing, and it got switched over. So we tried to make it work. As far as me, when it didn't work as a group and everybody started, getting into their own, becoming their own entity, DLB, first off, myself, Mike C, and Peso from the Fearless 4. That was the Fearless 4. As we started our careers, and I figure like maybe the 85, 86 era. 85 was the I guess the Bon Voyage, like kind of, this is when we signed out,
right?
As far as a group. And I traveled for about maybe a year with Dougie. Doug got hot.
Right.
Doug came out, I think, in 86, 87 with the show. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not good with the numbers, but I started traveling with Doug and stopped rapping. Now I started to just hang out, staying in the mix, because I wanted to do something in music still. I just didn't know to what level.
Right.
So I always kept my pen game moving. So from that era, I'll go to the 88, 89 era. I bumped into Clark Kent.
Right, which did the Troop record. I know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wings.
So Clark Kent, actually, it's so crazy because we got a history, because Clark Kent is actually my son's godfather.
Okay.
So we started hanging out to the point where he was like, yo, fam, man, yo, you still nice, man. And I was like, that's when I had already went in hiatus. He was like, nah, I gotta bring you back. You can't just, you around, cats don't know. I said, So he gassed my ass. He gassed me, right? So he gassed me, and I picked up my pen, I started writing, and I let my man hear it, because now I'm on trial. I'm like, yo, fam, how that, I'm gonna say this joint. Nah, I don't want to say it. So I'm saying it to him, and he's like, yeah, I like that, but he's telling, he didn't want to go with the joint. I said, nah, it's a different flow, something. He said, nah, I think you should approach it more like you did like the Fearless 4. I said, well, that's a different era.
Exactly.
I said, I can't really approach it like that. So I started my joint. I wrote, Deep in thought, sleep that bought. Visions of mind-blowing decisions of a love I sought. Yo, I hope to find, I wrote the line to make you mine. I gotta wake up, I'm lost in time. So he's like, oh, all right, when you're saying it now to the, okay, that does sound, I said, well, let me finish my joint up. Right. So I'm in there and I started writing and I finished the joint. And when I laid it, I went to Clark's joint and I did it on the phone joint. I said, yo, Clark, I wrote a joint. Tell me if it's something, you know, if it's what you're looking for. Yo, come there, yo, I'm on Green Street. You know, he started telling me, yo, come on down, yo, I'm at the studio. I forgot the name of the studio, but it was Green Street. Okay, yeah, so I'm down there. He got me, yeah, exactly. They busted my Porsche window there, never mind that. So I'm in there and he's like, yo, I can't wait. He's telling the producers, like, Clark, I love Clark in regards to his energy, everything, you know, whenever I came in the room, he'd be like, yo, do you know who's in the room? Like, Clark would just stop everything. You know who's in the room? And they was like, you know, they was like, oh, you know, what's happening? He's like, yo, this is the devastating Tito. And he'll just start going through history. One of the illest Latino, this is before, you know, you know, before any of them, he said, yo, this is one of the most lyrical Hispanic cats out. Y'all got to know and understand this, man. Like, he just went into his thing. And I was like, yo, Clark, I'd be like, Clark. I was like, yo, tone it a little bit. Tone it down. I'm not really, you know Clark, I'm good, because that's my dude. But he was like, he was more of a, nah, they got to know. Right. I was that's more, Clark. I'm humble, you know, and he got me into that mode, and I kept my pen. Going. So he had me write for Levert, God bless the dead. I did a joint with Levert and Lady Madam. It was something, you know, back then I didn't even know what I was doing. I was writing joints. He was like, yo, T, watch, we're gonna get you back. Something had transpired where I broke camp. I did the I Hate This joint again. I left. Here it is 91. I get a phone call. It was something that we had started working at. Once I started with Clark, we had a group called, it was Menagerie, right? Before it was Menagerie though, it was just 3 dudes working on tracks. So we in the house, you know, I'm like, yeah, this is cool and all that. I like it, it's R&B, and it was rap. And I said, it sounds good. And it sounds like what was coming out. I heard Father MC do a track where he used Jodeci, and he led it, and I said, "Yo, that's a hot idea." Right. And they was like, "Well, we want y'all to be the Hispanic version, all Spanish." So we was all Spanish, and they said, "I said, ah, come on, you ain't gonna hit me with the menudo shit, right?" And so they was like, "Nah, not that. You know, I don't want you. Ain't no boy group, nothing like that. It's just that y'all all Spanish. Even our DJ was Spanish. So I had my man Tony Perez, my man Anthony, God bless the dead, and Kevin Perez, and we sat down, we did some joints. I thought nothing of it. I left town. I went to live somewhere else. I got that phone call. Yo, Fat Doug from you know, from Uptown, kicking it. He pushes the tape. He says, yo, he tells Marky D, yo, you gotta listen to this track. And he was like, oh, come on, man. He's like, nah, listen. We're not getting out the car. Listen to this track. This shit is crazy. So Mark's like, all right, play the track. Played the track, because he didn't tell him who it was first. Then he played the track and he listened. He said, yo, this shit is hot. He said, who's this? He's like, yo, that's Tito, you know, Fearless. He's like, oh, get the fuck out of here. He said, and this is new group, Tony and the other cats he introduced. Yeah. He said, yo, that mixture is crazy. The dude singing sound like Guy, like he had a little Guy sound. So he let us do that, and finally, I told you I'm detailed. You asked me a question, I do the whole story. But what I'm saying is, when we got there, we got to the point where he's saying, dude, you got to come back from wherever you at, because we're getting signed to Columbia. I said,
that's when Mark and them got their deal.
There you go. Soul Convention. So you know what it is. So I went out. We went to this spot in Long Island on the first floor, a commercial building, and they had their studio on the first floor. I said, yo, this is hot. You know, this is a big joint. This is crazy. Went in there. They was like, well, this is where we're going to start recording. So now I had to transition from a 4-hour ride, because I didn't leave. I was doing this. I'm going back and forth. I said, you know, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't happen. As the project started going on, them singles was getting like, everything, us was like, everything's a single. You know, Corey was happy. He said, yo, this shit gonna rock. You know what I'm saying? Mark had just came off of his album. And the reason why we came out, I think in '93, was because our lead singer was on a lot of Mark's projects.
Right.
So they wanted Mark's projects to go first. We doing this first, and then after we do all the promo, we gonna ride with y'all, because we don't want to confuse the audience. We want them to just cop, you know, our first joint, then come and cop our next joint, like ride out like that. And plus they didn't have the resources that other big, you know, the majors had. The majors was just giving them room.
What they did was a little bit, it was because at the time Corey and Mark was getting hot with the Mary records.
That's right.
You know, and the Father records.
That's right.
And Columbia was giving them everything that they wanted. At the time, so you knew that the relationship was going to be good. Well, I don't want to stop you because, you know, a lot of this stuff is in your book, man.
No doubt.
Let's talk about the book too. Now, for y'all already know that, you know, Tito already gave y'all like details, and trust me, if you like what he just gave you just now, this book, and I'm telling you myself, I read this book. And the thing about this book, Gemini, please, everybody, definitely get a copy of this. And in a minute, Tito going to tell you too where you can cop this book. Website's any place.
For sure.
But what I liked about this book, man, was you talked a lot details about your relationship with your sister.
Yeah.
How your sister was, even though you had an older brother. You talked about your older brother.
No doubt.
But your sister was kind of like your older brother and older sister because she was very protective. Certain things, and the first to leave the family.
That's right.
I was in the book.
Wow,
I was in the book, man. And
wow,
tell us
that's detailed.
Tell us a little bit about your family background, man, and how did your family at the time think about, you know,
what I was doing,
what you was getting into?
Well, honestly, I mean, from just speaking on Tata, I'm gonna say Tata or Mickey, whatever. When as a young dude and looking for direction, right? I was one of the cats who my mom's always, they hovered me, you know, pops always kept me in the crib, So I had to find a way. I wanted to venture out. You know, I'm like, yo, I want to go out. I can't go out. It's almost like I'm punished. I could only go on the floor in my building. You know, and I'm like, yo, this is corny. You know, so my sister, I started telling my sister, yo, take me with you. You know, take me with you. Take me with you. I want to go with you. You know what I'm saying? So I got to the point where my father and them, believe it or not, ain't have a problem with letting my sister out because my sister can handle hers. You know, they ain't really worry about her. My sister was one of the gang-related joints. You know, she used to get her shit in. So she would take me with me. I would meet, you know, all of, you know, gang affiliates and all of that stuff, and we'd run around, you know, and they had me doing like all, you know, I was the little dude. Yo, I was everybody's little brother. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I did a lot of things that required I would say guidance, you understand? But me, personally, I would want to get outside of that too. You know how you start getting tired of, all right, come on with the little brother, like I can hold my own, I want to go out and do that.
You want to go and break your wings.
Yeah, so with my sister, what my sister did was basically take me around and kind of like get me out of the house broken shit. Like, yo, you do this, you know, put your tough mental on, do that, all that bomby boy shit and that, you know, pops hovering over you, gotta leave that alone.
Right.
Yeah, these streets ain't what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? So she showed me that. And I was learning it as I was going. Whether it was, yo, if I had any kind of battles I had to, yo, she always run in like she was the month, you know, what y'all doing here? Nah, fuck, you know what I'm saying? She was respect. Yo, y'all not gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So she would run dudes off, like, so I never really had to do much. I had like 2 fights in my you know, that whole bringing up, because everything that we did was more or less, I was always covered.
Right, yeah, and I read a lot of that too in the book too, with your brother actually having you get.
Made me. He was like,
I'm telling you, I need to check this book out. This really is a good book, man. I mean, because even though we know that he's from the legendary hip hop group Phyllis 4, but just to even know the story of life. Of how you even, you know, crawled and you got into doing what you're doing. Particularly, because I don't want to keep stopping you too much because I know you want to
elaborate.
But I want people to get the book because of the fact that I enjoyed reading the entire book. And me already knowing you, be like, yo, Tito was bugging, you know, just kind of get the story. So I know people definitely going to like it. It's called Gemini. But the other thing I also like too, man, is that, because I also had a friend who was similar to like you, that a Hispanic kid too, and what I liked you put in the book is that you had no problems at looking through your eyes of the difference of the culture, but the same of his people. Because you even talked about how you dated this girl who was an African-American black girl.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
it's like, and just reading it,
yes.
the story just kind of, it made me understand knowing another kid that was just like you. And
it resonated.
Exactly.
Yeah, it resonated.
That it's like, look, I'm seeing this the same way everybody else seen it. I'm up here in the Bronx. I'm in the projects.
That's right.
Why you trying, so it kind of, I'm telling you, this really is a good book, man. And I'm not even going to give too much more. What I am going to ask you about is what made you decide
to write a book?
To write this book.
I mean, honestly, I was sitting there. It had to been about maybe 5 years ago. I got approached by L.A. Sunshine.
Okay.
L.A. Sunshine had his
from the Treacherous Three too, for those who don't know.
L.A. Sunshine Treacherous Three for sure, the pioneering group. So when we, when he used to meet with me, we used to hang out with L.A. We always like it. We in and out. We good. I go away. We come back. He comes back into the circle. We always do that. One day, I think I parked my car. I was on Convent. He comes through and he was like, "Yo," he has this big, I guess that was his manuscript. He wrote the whole, he had this joint. He said, "Yo, I gotta let you look through my my joint. My book's coming out." I said, "Oh, all right." So he's going through it. I read a couple of pages. He says, "Yo, I mentioned you in here." You know what I'm saying? I said, "All right, cool." So I'm going through it and I'm looking for it. He says, "Yo, I don't really say your name. I used your likeness. I used who you were. And maybe, people who knew me would know you." So I said, "Oh, okay, all right, no problem." So I'm reading it. I found the book crazy, like when I mean, like, it was an emotional roller coaster with his joint because I never knew, like I knew L. Like I'm like, yo, what L was this? You know how you with a person, you like, but dude, I never seen this part.
Right.
L book was deep. L took you back into his, when he was doing usage, drug usage and all that, and then how he overcame stuff and how he was abused as a child. Yeah, I'm pushing the LA Sunshine book while I'm here doing me. But my joint, I touch on, it's a rarity because it's like a Donald Goines kind of like Iceberg Slim joint because I got like a screenplay in the book, which is a rarity, and I talk where it's like, it's wordplay back and forth with a, it's a fictional joint with the police, and we be, interrogation room kind of stuff. And throughout it, it talks about, it'll go from one extreme, which I call it, that's the aggressive read, and then go back to the emotional part of it. So it's like you caught. Before you get ready to get into the meat of it, it relaxes you to go back again. So now you're reading again. This is something that you got. Get your wine and your cheese, man. Read a little bit, take some in, go, you take a minute and come back to it, cheese and wine, and you read. It's not something that you want to just breeze through. You want to understand the read.
Exactly.
So I'm feeling like you need to do about 2 or 3 chapters, put it down, let that marinate, and then keep doing that. And then you'll fully understand what it's about because it's a lot of stuff in there. Like I said, it's fiction. It's not all true, but it's my memoir and fiction and the aspect of the what I said, the screenplay. Yeah.
But also the cool thing about it, and again, we're gonna stop giving too much of this book because I need y'all to sit and read this book.
No doubt.
It's called Gemini. But the one thing I do want you to elaborate on quickly is because I want to talk about your Team Fearless honor is coming up too as well.
Oh yes.
June 28th is real briefly though because I need for people to read this.
Nah, no doubt.
The relationship that you had to learn with Bobby Robinson from Enjoy Records.
Wow.
Especially at the point where you guys was like, okay, this record rocking it, we're hearing it's selling.
Yeah.
But talk to us. I need to talk to you like you said in the book.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you as man to man before I start making somebody guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
And tell us about the relationship with Bobby Robinson.
All right. Well, Bobby was one of the he was a street cat. I don't care what nobody said. At the end of the day, he was a street hustling. He was what I call the smoothest. You know how a cat who's a con man, he's smooth, he's fast talking, he's on his feet all the time.
Right.
And what he did was he sold us like he sold every other group that signed to him.
Yeah.
He gave us a story for every question that we asked. He had answers and a story to go with it.
Right.
So Bobby was elusive in answering and evasive with question answering. So we say, yo, Bobby, you know our records are #1. Our record was #1 on Hot 97. Before it was Hot 97,
right.
it's KTU.
It's KTU.
You know, you had KISS, 98.7 KISS, and you had
BLS.
WBLS with Frankie Crocker. So we was like, Bobby, our joint is fire everywhere. Everybody's telling us that we should be rich right now. We should be touring. We should be everywhere. And Bobby's like, oh, come on. You're going too far, all right? The touring, you got to get shows. You got to have everything in place. You just can't go out and go do a tour. So Bobby's, and we like, no, well, we need to get out there. Yeah, well, everybody needs to get out. But I'm saying, we don't have the resources to get out. If you want to go out, why don't everybody just put their money together and go ahead on out? You know, if you feel that, you know, all the people that's talking, because they know more than me eventually, I mean, actually, because they're telling you what you should have. And I'm the record company. So these guys, we talking to him, and he's like, hey, listen, you guys done here? No, we ain't done. It's a lot of stuff. You know, we supposed to have already gotten our royalties, some kind of royalties. He said, hey, well, I'll have your royalties next week. And we was like, yo, they said they were supposed to come in the mail. It's a check. It's checks. It's coming. He said, checks for what? I could do it. I'll give it to you next week. So we like, give it to you next week. Yo, we have a record that's #1 for like 6 weeks on all the stations. What do you mean you're going to give it us next week? In cash? He's like, don't worry, I'll take care of that. So, long story short, I'm learning, we let him go that one time, and then it came around again, we got him. We like, yo, what's happening? We ain't hear nothing from you. Next week we left. I'm real busy, I'm doing a lot of things. I can't do everything. You're not the only group in here. We got a lot of groups under here. You guys, you're all right, but you're not, you know, we got the Treacherous Tree, we got Spoonie G. We're working on a lot of different things. It's not just you guys, you know. You can't keep coming in my place, you know, making a ruckus, babies, you know. And he's telling us, and I'm like, I said, Joe, what do you mean? I don't care how many other groups you have. We talking about what we have. It's what we did for you. He's like, first off, I took your meeting. If it wasn't for Spanky, we wouldn't even know you guys. Like, it's too much. You think you're up here, you're down here. It's not all the money you're thinking about. I'm going to give you something. So he came out, gave us, he said, he went in his pocket. He went in his pocket and he said, I'm giving you royalties now. Come on. 1, 2, 3, $300. 1, 2, $300 per man. And we had the DJs there. We said, we got the DJs. I didn't sign the DJs. You give them money out of your cut. So we're sitting there like, $300? And this dude actually said, well, what do you want? Well, we want records. We want to know how many is sold. This dude never, he said, what do you mean how many is sold? Hey, go check down the block. That's the only guy I service. My store, this guy over here, and a couple of things in Queens. Yeah, I don't need records. We was finding out Bobby was always Philly, Delaware, you know, Baltimore, Long Island, you know, Jersey. He was doing that. He was doing it. So we never really knew what we sold. He never had anything that would show.
He kept his books clean.
Yeah. So anybody who came in there, he'll say they didn't sell that.
They didn't sell it, yeah.
So that's why the story that he's trying to get me to say is more or less, you got to know the business aspect of what you're getting into. No matter how much or how the clouds that they put in front of you, everything looks like a pretty picture, man. It's always, you know, the oasis in the desert situation. And you in the desert and you looking at the oasis and you saying, if I could just step over on that side, everything's going to be lovely. Not without taking care of your business. Because to me, I learned the lesson early, that you can't trust anybody with your destiny. So never go in and sign anything without any legal representation. And I'm glad you told me to build on that, because we got hurt and we can save other people from getting hurt. And other people were saved from getting hurt. New talent there's a whole different situation. It's not even lawyers and labels no more. I mean, so you got iTunes and you could do that yourself. I mean, they could handle all that business and all that paperwork just on a click of a button on a computer.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's different. You know what I'm saying?
Well, definitely everybody, please pick up a copy of Tito's book, which is called Gemini. Please tell everybody where you can get a copy of this from.
First of all, you could go, there's a couple of places. You could go to Barnes & Nobles, we there. You could go to www.teamfearless.org. Once again, www.teamfearless.org. And you can, it'll link you in. It'll give you, I think on my page also, it gives you like a sample. You could go in and read a couple of pages or a chapter, I think it gives you, you know. So you could do that and you could get, you'll know what the book is about and see if you want to get, you know, you want to invest in it. I think it's a really good investment.
Yeah, well, I'll tell everybody, it's definitely a good investment, particularly all the artists that want to get into the business. And like you said, this is an educational book. Tell you his life of how they got in the business and working with guys like Bobby Robinson. And for those who kept him telling a story about Bobby Robinson is the husband, or they both now have passed on, of Sylvia Robinson of Sugar Hill Records. Yeah. They both, work with old R&B groups like the Moments and stuff like that.
Yes,
Brown.
yes.
And it's a whole story, but definitely get the book. But what I want to do real quick too is I also want to talk about Devastating Tito's Team Fearless Honors coming up June 28th. Please tell everybody a little bit about it real quick.
Well, June 28th, first off, on 2011, I had started the Team Fearless movement. And Team Fearless movement basically was based on the lack of and knowledge of everyone that's in this industry right now. Cats that we, as pioneers and architects, opened doors for these guys. And I kept seeing everybody getting awards. It started with the, I don't want to say the name, but it started with an award show that came on TV, and they skipped like maybe over 10 eras, and they got one guy to represent. They got one guy to represent our era, and a couple other people, and then they just forgot about us and went to the South without even finishing what what we had in New York. Right. So I took that as it was disrespectful for me, and I said, these dudes here that put so much work in and didn't get the money, but we laid the groundwork, we carried the records, we sat there, we suffered, we took the $50 gigs, we took $100 gigs. When you got a record that's #1 on 3 stations and you're getting $100 a man, there's something wrong with that picture. Right. So the promoters back then, the money was different back then, of course. And I think parties was maybe $5 to $10. So it was a little different, in the venue, but the venues was also cheaper. You understand? You could get a venue for $200 back then. And what I'm trying to say is I did that to try and reconnect with the artists who opened all the doors and layered platforms for other artists like the Runs and the Jays, the Cool Jays, the Tito Rocks who came after us and stuff, like all of the guys who had records after our records. Right. It kind of gave them that platform, But
also see you have a lot of great other artists on it. I don't want to run down too much to everybody, but I see, you got Black Rob, you got MC Shan, you got Mikey D, you got Nice and Smooth, you got Nikki D, you got DJ Grand Wizard Rashim and DJ Mercury, you got DJ Hollywood, who's definitely a legend in the game, Chop Rock. I mean, there's so many artists on it, Sweet Tea, who I actually spoke to a couple of weeks ago too. So many people on it, the 45 Kings, so many people. So actually, tell everybody how they can also get to this event, because you need everybody in the house on June 28th.
Oh, we definitely do. Once again, theteamfearless.org. I usually connect everything to that. That's a link that you could get me. You could get me on the book. Facebook, I'm real heavy on under Devastating Tito. You could get me on my Instagram. You could get me on my Twitter, my Pinterest, and my Tumblr on Team Fearless. The number 4 and L. Right. So remember, those all are the media platforms that you can find me at. Even more, like LinkedIn, I'm on everything. So definitely come here June 28th. It will be an historic event. I got 21 performances. Shy-Rock hasn't performed in years. Shy-Rock will be performing at this. She is a co-host and Grandmaster Kaz,
Yeah.
which if you guys are familiar with, is the Cold Crush 4, who also was in the documentary, The Art of Rap.
Oh, yeah.
And we got so many legends coming in this joint. We really need y'all to come. If y'all want a history lesson, you want to take your kids, it's kid friendly. You could bring them in. The seats start at, we got orchestra, which is right where you'll be sitting with the honorees, literally. The orchestra seats are 40, and then I have the mezz, which is 30. So y'all guys could get involved. It's going to be a red carpet event. It will be on several media outlets. So be prepared, wear your best, because there will be cameras around all over my spot. Know that.
Well, there it is. So make sure y'all definitely check that out. Please go online and Onyx, everybody's in the house. So show your love. That's June 28th. The Devastating Tito, my man Grandmaster Kaz. Big shout out to my man Kaz.
Yeah.
And definitely get this book, Gemini. It's a great book. Read up on it. Learn more about my man Tito if you don't know about him. And those who do know about Fearless 4 and you don't know that much about what was going on with these guys, this book definitely will tell the story, man. Tell you something, man. Me and you got to get together some more.
Yes, sir.
This is my man, the Devastating Tito. And also check out his radio show, too, which is Team Fearless, which comes on Fridays, every Friday.
Every Friday.
From 6 to 8 p.m.
That is correct.
Same link they can go to check that out?
Yeah, DaMatrixStudios.com. So when y'all dial in, it's DAMATRIX Studios.com. And when you get there, you just type in Team Fearless Radio. It'll take me straight to my show.
There it is.
And that is a wealth of knowledge. Last week before, I had Cold Chillins, Tyrone Williams, and AJ, and also had a Freedom Williams.
Oh yeah.
And Remix King Ted Smooth. This week, I have DJ Baby J from Queens, who provided a platform for us to play at the United States Ring and Roseland and places like that. Also, I have Jesse West, which is an ill artist and production who's worked on Biggie's projects, Puffy's projects, and a lot of other greats. So we'll have him this week, man.
Well, cool.
Thanks a lot.
Cool. No doubt, though. So my man Tito in the building, y'all. We definitely want to thank you for hanging out with me, man. Definitely
all day, man. Respect.
Get that book, Gemini's, in stores. Show your love. My man, the Devastating Tito. I'm Bobby Simmons, my man Tito in the building. We gonna see y'all when we see y'all.
You know what we do.
Peace,
sir.